Welcome back, everybody, to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast, 3GW. It's your boy, DaReaL Big E, my cousin, Big Mo. What's happening?
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We've been
I
trying to get
appreciate being here.
this done for a few days now, but life.
But we're here now,
Oh,
so I'm excited.
Yeah, here to talk to you people.
About you people.
Starring Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill, Lauren London, and Nia Long, another.
You feel like Nia Long was a star?
I mean, that's why she was a draw. I'll say that.
Okay.
She wasn't really in it that much.
Right.
And of course, Julia Louis-Dreyfus and I forget the guy's name that played I got it right here, actually. Hold on.
Jonah's dad?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got it right here. Hold tight. David Duchovny. Okay. I should have known.
What else was he in?
He's been acting for years.
I'm not familiar with him at all.
Really? X-Files. That's his big thing, X-Files.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird to see him in this role. I actually thought he was, not to say too much, but I thought he was pretty funny in this. His love obsession with the exhibit. I don't know.
I like everyone's role in this, honestly. I appreciate every single character.
Oh, well,
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Important question, because this was the beginning of the movie. So, at this point in your life, what Drake are you? Which Drake album are you?
Take Care.
Take Care? Okay.
I'm Take Care Drake. I'm in my feelings, but I'm raw. I'm original. You love to hear it, but I'm definitely Take Care Drake. I've been playing Shop for Me every day this week almost. Where you at?
This week, I'm Views. Straight up Views around here.
But I love that. Okay, was that not what Jonah was on? Was Jonah not on Views?
I think so, yeah.
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 Well, that's a good spot to be at.
I mean, like I said, just this week. In general, probably damn, what was that album that he had started from the bottom on there?
Don't let me start lying. I'm honestly big on Certified Lover Boy too.
I didn't care for that one.
I know. A lot of you people didn't.
Nothing was the same. Probably my most consistent. And then I like Scorpion as well. So
same.
I do like Scorpion, but if I had to, now if I'm just rating Drake's best album, I think Take Care is his best album. Period.
Thank you. I'm so glad we agree.
So yeah. All right. So getting into this movie. This was a very strange opening. I don't know who thought of this, but the whole...
It was strange? Okay, I watched it a couple of weeks ago. Remind me of how it opened.
Talking about Barack Obama and cocaine.
I don't remember.
Yes. Barack Obama, cocaine, and him delving into some type of homosexuality type thing because he needed the cocaine to kind of get there. Yeah, that's how it opens.
What? Yeah. Okay, I gotta go run it back. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
But there's something like, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is with my memory, but they say people with a lot of anxiety that live inside their head tend to not remember a lot of things. And I don't remember a lot of things.
Oh, maybe that's my problem too. That's why I take notes, because anything I'm watching, I have to write it down, otherwise I forget.
Smart man.
It's just I had to come to terms with that. I used to try to remember everything on top of my head. Oh, I got it, and then
exactly.
Nope,
I don't remember none of it. Okay, so it started off with Barack Obama.
Because you know that they're doing he's doing the podcast with his partner, who I never got her name.
Her name is Mo.
Oh, it's Mo.
Her name is.
It sure is. I see the cast right here. Yep, it sure is.
Her name is Mo. But yeah, he's doing the podcast with
Yeah,
Mo.
yeah, Ezra's doing the podcast with Mo, and yeah, that's how it opens with their podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how it goes from that to you see Ezra at Temple with his family, and he's going back and forth with his sister. I laughed out loud when she called his ass a young Hulk Hogan with that hair. I was dead. That shit was funny.
It was so cute. Like the comedy in it was so subtle, but still very like I definitely chuckled a lot in this movie.
Yeah, I like that opening scene because it was just it kind of introduced like how his family dynamic works.
Right.
But you know, we go from there, and then they get introduced to Lauren London's character, Amira. The dude that played her ex-boyfriend or whatever, I don't know where they found him off the street, but he could not emote to save his damn life. That was some of the worst acting I've ever seen. He was like a statue.
I don't remember her ex-boyfriend.
Remember she was like getting in her car, the dude came outside and was, did you change your phone number?
I don't remember that.
Oh. Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
What? Okay, I gotta go back and watch this movie.
Yeah. He comes out and he asks something about did he change her phone? Yeah. Did she change something? But she ended up changing her number.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was her ex-boyfriend or whatever. But I guess her Akbar liked him, but you know, whatever. We don't get to Mr. Akbar, Eddie. Eddie Murphy in this.
Do you appreciate Eddie Murphy for playing a different role?
I do.
Okay.
Because I know he was trying hard not to be funny, but the second the first when it gets introduced and they're in the restaurant where you know I guess it used to be a black owned or black more urban area and now it's not. It's been what's the word?
I have a point about that too, but go ahead.
Yeah. So he's just dropping the N-word. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think you was gonna be doing that in this, but all
right. Really, in this, yeah, I didn't think it was that type of setting either.
Yeah, and then so often I was like, oh, okay, and it's just Eddie, because so he dropping it, and it's just funny, even though he's trying to be serious, like it's still funny. But I still was like, all right, I get it, you know. But
they did drag it a little bit. It's like okay.
The one thing I didn't like with his character was like I've never been in contact with somebody that was just that like I guess devout and just being so you're so pro-black that you're anti-white. Like come on, like to me that just felt a little unrealistic. Like you can't. It's at some point you got to realize that this is progressive. It's making money, and even his son tried to make the point about like we're making money, but people coming in here, that's what we want. So I get what they were going for, like an old school mentality, and some people are stuck in their ways like that. But
right.
Yeah, it was maybe a little too stiff.
But I think that like it's fitting for that generation, maybe not so much for our generation. And then to double back on his point when he was like, even the people are gentrified, like the people don't look as black as they used to. And do you feel like that? Because we both have mixed race children. So it's like seeing our children and seeing the world, do you feel like people don't look like their roots, or people do look like their roots, but we're just not in those areas, or what is it?
That's a great question. I think that the best way to, I guess, stay black, as we used to say, is just educate yourself. That's the best way. Knowledge is power, always is, always will be. And I don't think based on how you look, how you dress, what music you listen to, that shouldn't depict your blackness at the end of the day. Right. Just be proud to be black and know your history. I don't know all the history, but I know enough to go back and forth with somebody, and I've lived it.
Right.
So, but like everything. I think I'm talking to you about this. There's so many things that have changed, and so many adjustments we've had to make in this day and age, that life is just constantly evolving. So we have to, you either evolve with it or you get left behind.
Right.
And that's kind of how I really feel. And you you have to, it's tough because if you're Black, you have to evolve, but you also have to somewhat stay grounded in where you came from.
It's like you gotta stay Black, but you gotta evolve. So it's like, where's the balance? How do you stay Black and grow at the same time?
Right.
Not grow, but
Yeah. So you want to be worldly, you want to be well-rounded in your education and well versed in how to act in certain environments.
right.
You know,
And still stay like true to your roots
true
at
to
the
your
same
roots.
time.
And there's a saying that I learned a while ago, like, know your audience. You know, be you, but you gotta know your audience as well. So that's
That
the
is
thing
a
that comes
very
with
good
age.
point.
Yep.
Because I think about that in like my everyday life. Like I know how to code switch. I can make any group of people feel comfortable with me because I know my audience. Like I know how to deal with every set of people. I know how to relate to every set of people, but everybody doesn't know that. And I still, even though I can relate to you on your level, I still want to be very much Black.
Right.
And relate to you while standing firm in my Blackness. And you staying firm in whatever you are. I still want to stand firm in my Blackness, but still be educated and vocal enough to converse with you.
Exactly. So this might come as a surprise to most people, but one of my favorite, not my absolute favorite character, but one of my favorite characters in this movie actually was Julia Dreyfus, because the way what they did with her was they were telling the story of like, yeah, I'm not just with the mirror. I'm not some prize that you won. I'm not some toy on the shelf that you're trying to, accessorize with. I'm still a Black person, but but she's doing all the wrong things, saying all the wrong things, but she's trying.
Thank
So,
you.
so it was like your heart's in the right place, but this is all wrong because you've been just told all the wrong things.
That
It's
was
like
the
that
same
thing where it's
exact
like,
point.
can I touch your hair because it's a different texture? That type of thing.
That was the same exact point I had when I did this review on my channel. It was that, so my co-host was like, she didn't like her character. She felt like she was doing too much, and she agreed with Lauren London's character, like, stop. But me, I appreciated her because it's like she's trying to relate and she wants you to feel welcome and she wants you to feel comfortable. Yes, she's going about it the wrong way, and yes, she may be placing too much emphasis on it, but I appreciated her for trying.
Mm-hmm. She's the opposite of Eddie's character.
Exactly. She really wanted to embrace her and be
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, even though you're Black, I love your Blackness. I'm intrigued by your Blackness. And I love that for her character.
Yeah. And she was just, again, just saying the wrong things. And especially when she randomly brought up police brutality. I was like, oh God.
But they want to relate. Like it's so funny when they want to be relatable, whoever they are, but they want to relate to us. And I love that. It's like, I appreciate the effort because you don't have to do that.
No. And I generally was like, you know what? We could sit down and have conversations, and I think eventually you would get it.
I would definitely have a drink with her.
All right. Yeah. But this is probably the scene that got, everybody talking, was the dinner scene, because this was some rapid fire talking about, and I laughed out loud because I actually thought about Dave Chappelle when they were talking about, they were talking about slavery, because it's Jews and Blacks now, because Jews and Blacks do this shit about who had it worse.
And that's always a thing, and I will never pick a side because I've been in that conversation. Like, which one do you think was worse? Like, I don't know. I wasn't there. They were both bad. They were both pretty terrible. So, but I appreciate the Jewish aspect because Jewish people actually stick together, Whereas us as Black people, we have a hard time, even though we've been through that. Instead of like us embracing that, it's like, okay, we're gonna come together and be the best that we can be. We still like compete and go against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Jewish people, like their dollar, if they have a $20 bill right now, that's gonna circulate through their community. Whereas we will refuse to give it to our neighbor. No matter what, we will not give it to our neighbor. We'll give it to anybody else but our neighbor. So I appreciate the Jewish community for sticking together after something traumatic like that. They were like, okay, it's us versus them. And it shouldn't be that way, but I love that they're just one.
Yeah. The part that I laughed though, because it was as soon as they started talking, I started thinking about that Dave Chappelle stand up. And he's like, he was like, well, don't forget about Egypt. And I was like, oh shit. He's like, we'll go all the way back to Egypt.
Every time. We're gonna go all the way back.
All the way back. I was like, oh God, okay. All right. But then Eddie Akbar's character, brought up the fact that, the Jews made a profit off of the sale of slaves. So it's like, I mean, you could go back and forth with it.
But the Black people made a profit off the sale of slaves. So let's hold everybody accountable.
You could go back and forth with the Jews versus who had it worse. I mean, if you're asking me, I think we did, because it was for almost 500 years of it.
Right.
And, we didn't ask to come this motherfucker.
Right. This is true.
So I thought that, and I talked about who I like. I did not care for Ezra.
Why?
Because Ezra was a classic case of, I'm going to say and make up whatever I think and say what I think you want to hear, so I sound good and look good. Like the whole Frederick Douglass basketball park, or the park or whatever. Like, he made that shit up, and just everything. Like, he just was like, oh yeah, I know about that, and don't know a damn thing about it. Which is crazy, because you have a podcast with a Black co-host. Why are you talking like this? Like, it's okay to say you don't know.
Yeah.
But I did like the twist that he could actually hoop. So I did enjoy that. So that was kind of funny. He's like, "Oh, you recording this?" And then Eddie was getting mad because he was making all the shots.
Because what? You doing this for real? Yeah, as he should be mad. But I don't know how I felt about Ezra's character. Okay, so now that you have this clip up, I had a point. So you know how like cultural appropriation is like so terrible. Right now, looking at Lauren London, is she culturally appropriating?
What do you mean?
She has on from head to toe, she is it looks like she's culturally appropriating the Asian community.
Okay, that's what I was thinking you were gonna go, because her hair's up in the buns and that
and
top.
What she has on, yeah. So it's like, is that a thing? Can only Black people be culturally appropriated, or can we culturally appropriate other cultures? And is it okay when we do it? And why is it?
I think anybody should be able to, if I think that's the point that I would make off what you're saying is, well, 2 points. What she's wearing doesn't really tie into what her parents are wearing, especially the kufi. So that is a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because when you said that, I looked directly at her and I was like, oh wait, she looks more like a geisha right now without the face paint.
100%.
So there's that. 2, but I don't think you should have to, just because you are a certain religion, you have to dress a certain way. I mean, I don't believe in that either. But the point of this movie was, we're drawing a line, and we're divisive. We're over here because we're Muslim, and we believe in this and Allah, and we're Jewish, So it's just all different. And then but I think that was also the point of Ezra and Amira. Was like, yeah, this is our religion, but we're not old school.
Yeah, they don't subscribe to their religion. Subscribe
to the old school mentalities of how we gotta be strict to this whole thing. Yeah, this is my belief, but I ain't gotta dress like y'all. I ain't gotta wear a kufi. Right. I mean, if she wouldn't anyway, because she's female, but you know what I'm saying.
So I don't feel like I don't know. I really don't like speaking for the Black race because I'm lighter skinned, and a lot of Black people get irritated when lighter skinned people speak for them. So I don't want to speak for Black people. But speaking for me, I don't think cultural appropriation should be an issue. You are who you are. You dress how you dress. You listen to what you listen to. You style your hair how you style your hair. If anything, I thought imitation was the best form of flattery. So you should appreciate that someone else appreciates something about your culture.
You know what's
So
sad? What's really sad?
what?
I just looked at my notes, and there was that whole thing. Let me pull this up. This is gonna make me look really bad. But I'm gonna pull it up
Why?
anyway. So there was this whole thing right here on the plane when Eddie was going to the bachelor party, and Akbar sits down and he thinks Mo was a guy. I have in my notes, my name is Mo and I have titties. Right here. I didn't remember that.
It's Mo. You don't even remember Mo.
Yeah. I thought that was funny though. It was like she's like, I'm a girl. My name is Mo and I have titties. Yeah.
Would you okay, so you have kids. You have a daughter. Do you feel like it was okay for Eddie Murphy to chaperone the bachelorette party?
No, he should not have gone. I wouldn't. I don't want to go. No, not at all. I'm not there to sabotage either. He was there to sabotage the whole thing, and then I did think that was funny though, because it's kind of a cliche thing they do in movies, but I don't know, something about the way they did this here, like the cocaine dealer actually showed up. Nobody talks like this for real. Like, I got cocaine, you know,
screaming it across the room, and then the cocaine
club.
dealer comes in. He's throwing cocaine at everybody. Like, no, that doesn't happen. But
this is from last time. Here you go. Like, no, that's not how that shit works.
But what are the odds though? Like, some shit always happens when it's not supposed to happen. You like, really? Right now, you gonna do this?
Yeah, I get what this was. This was what, like a Guess Who's Coming to Dinner type movie. Yeah, opposite races. I did like I think, and this is the biggest problem I have with this movie is like toward the end. And I do feel like the movie with Ashton Kutcher and Bernie Mac did a better job of this. It was too. They turned Eddie's character around too fast. Like, I get it. Ezra's mother, she was already kind of like, I want this all to work. I'm just doing all the wrong things. Eddie was like, I don't want this at all. And that's why he said, Ezra asked him, can I marry your daughter? And he's like, you can try. Like, that was his whole thing. And he tried to sabotage. And then all it took was one conversation, I think, with Mike Epps. And all of a sudden,
but it was a conversation with Mike Epps, and it was Ezra actually checking him, because it just really hits different when somebody that you feel like you're the big man over, like you got the bigger nuts, and they actually come back and check you. It's like, whoa. So I feel like Ezra really put him in his place and was like, yeah, no, you're not great. You're actually a terrible person, and you're blocking your daughter's love. And that, and on top of that, the conversation with Mike Epps, you're like, okay, wait a minute, I'm doing a lot for no reason. And like, sometimes you need that hard hit. Like, okay, it's me. I'm the problem.
That is true, because Ezra was like, I will never know what it's like to be black, but I do know an asshole. I don't know. I guess I just felt like, I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I mean, they're not going to have this thing go off without them getting married. Right. But it just felt rushed. And I know sometimes movies, this is what they just have to do. But that's like just a small, I'm nitpicking, but that's, you know.
Yeah, but they got to the point, like, all of a sudden, I get what you're saying with that.
Yeah,
it was
like, yeah, I'm going to call up, you know, and then open the door and there's a whole wedding set up. Like, what if they saw each other and it was awkward and they didn't?
That's what I said. Like, what if they were already in another situation? Like, how do you just?
Ezra was dating again.
There had been months apart, but then I'm confused too, because they bought a house together. So it's like,
thank you. Like, how did y'all just?
What did we do with this house?
We got the house.
We just separated and came back together. So, okay, a question that I had was, have you ever been in a situation where you let other people dictate how you respond to something? like outside noise influenced your opinion. That's what I meant to say.
No. And that's
I
why I
love
have
that.
an ex.
I love that because it doesn't matter what the people say.
I had to learn though. They were right, but I guess I had to go through it myself. And I'm in a better situation now. But at the end of the day, you gotta. I mean, there's a difference between somebody giving. This is why I always say, I'll give you advice, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to take it or not. I'm not telling you what to do. I'll tell you what I would do in that situation.
Right.
But no, you gotta. It's hard because you gotta have your own beliefs that you stand on. You can't let people sway you, but you also do have to recognize when somebody's giving you some real hard hitting advice that you probably should take.
Right.
So it's you just gotta know the difference. That's why you have to really pay attention to who you keep in your circle. Because
Right.
I don't my circle's small. I only got a handful of people in there, and the people that are in there I have to have a similar lifestyle to me. I don't hang around single people. I'm not single.
Mm-hmm.
People that got kids, because you know, if I'm gonna kick it with you, I might have to have the kids with me. You got your kids.
Right.
Well, let's go somewhere we all can go, and we figure it out. And we help
Right.
each other out, and we hang out. But if it's somebody that don't got no kids, it's just hard to hang out with somebody that's single. I don't even know anybody that's single and don't have any kids, but because that's rare.
It's rare when you get up in this age. It's very rare.
Yeah. So, but again, yeah. So, and life always gonna throw challenges at you. So I feel like if I'm going through something, I need somebody that has the same type of situation to bounce off of. So
Yeah.
but yeah, not letting anybody sway you, because I've had people. Oh, not even just relationship wise, but when I went to the military the first time,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a soul in my corner with that. Not one. And it took a sergeant to come up to me because I was about to walk out. I was about to say, forget it. And he said, if I was 20, I was 20 at the time, still living at home. And I was terrified. And the sergeant came up to me. He didn't pressure me or anything. He just had a calm voice. He just said, listen, I get where you're coming from, but you did all this work and you came all the way here. You just did the physical, you did all that. And now you're talking about walking away because you're afraid of how your parents are going to respond. And he said, if your parents died today, what would you do? And I walked my ass in there and signed that contract.
I would do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not the type to take heed to advice. 9 times out of 10, I'm never going to ask for advice. I'm always going to do what I want to do. If I do ask you for your advice, I'm going to listen, but I'm still like a hard head, make a soft ass. Like, I got to know for sure this was the wrong option. And then I'll be like, you were right, and let's move on. But I got to do it my way first. I got to do what I want to do.
Yeah, that was me. I mean, to a degree, still is. But I have learned to be a better listener. Like I'll sit and, okay, let me actually hear you out, what you got to say.
Right.
And if it resonates with me, I'll take into account. If it doesn't, I'll just say, well, I appreciate your opinion and all that. But yeah. You can't let people, especially if it's like goal oriented, you definitely can't listen to people. So if you say, and you got to be careful who you tell your goals too. So somebody like you and I are both kind of on the same page as far as being creative, being creators. So we say this is what we want to do. Well, obviously you and I obviously collaborate now. So it's like, yeah. But you got those people that like, that's what you do.
What you doing that
what
for?
What you doing that for? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't talk to them people. No, not about what I got going on, because I already know how you're gonna respond. So yeah, I am very selective with who I share certain stuff with, because I know, like, your mindset isn't here, and that's okay. You don't have to be on the same level, on the same train of thought. It's fine, but I am, and I don't need your energy pulling me backward.
Nope, not at all.
How you coming on that cup?
Oh, it's But see, I got high tolerance. It's gonna take more than one of those to get me.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about food now.
And I thought it would hit me harder because I worked out earlier. So, get that blood flowing. But maybe one more. I got work tomorrow. But on a grading scale, A to F, I would put this at
honest.
I would say B minus.
That's better than what I thought you were gonna give it.
I would say I know I was kind of talking about the negative stuff, but it was still very enjoyable. I wasn't bored at all. I was very intrigued. Some of the dialogue was good. My only problem, I guess, like I said, it was too convenient at the end, so I take some points off of that. And some of the dialogue was a little too forced. Like when Ezra and Amira first met and he got in the car and it was a mistake of the Uber. Oh, because I'm a black woman and da 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 da. Now I gotta rattle off all these things. It's like, don't nobody talk like that.
Exactly. And then she is a black woman, but it's like,
but yeah, you yellow. So
but it's like you're going real hard for your skin tone. So yeah.
That was those two things. But I thought the comedy was funny. I thought Eddie was funny. He wasn't trying to be, but he still was. Mike Epps was hilarious too. Call him the White Barry White.
I love how Mike Epps has these like little subtle roles now. Like he doesn't when he came out, he was absolutely the main character, and now it's like he's not the main character in his roles anymore, but we're still excited to see him, and I appreciate that.
Just give a taste of him, and that's really all he needs.
That's all you need, just a
little sprinkle. Like on that movie, Jumping the Broom. He was in that. I liked him in that, and he had a good role in there. He was funny, but he also had a serious moment too. So
right?
I was like, okay, I like that. Not just being totally goofy. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I loved him and Roscoe Jenkins. He was fucking hilarious.
But see, yeah, he's always like the funny man, and I love him as the funny man. And I love when he has a moment where he can be funny and hop out. Like, what was the show? I think it's Black as Fuck. Kenya Barris. It's like about him and his family. I'm pretty sure it's called Black as Fuck. It's on Netflix, but he has a little sprinkle in there too, and he's just like the subtle, funny black uncle, and I love that role for him.
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch Roscoe Jenkins because him and Martin had real good chemistry, and he was just giving him the business. It was so funny.
Are you excited about the new Bad Boys, or do you think they should let it go?
And I thought they should. I did like the one they just did. I thought it was directed very well, and it had a real. I didn't see the plot going that way, and I thought that was okay. And it hit harder. I thought they didn't make it so joke oriented. It was jokes in there, but it wasn't joke oriented. It was a story. Right. They told a story. They tied up Mike, and I liked how they did that. And it still had a lot of action. So I really did enjoy that third one. I almost think it was a better story. It was definitely a better story than the second one, but the second one's hilarious. I actually watched the second one earlier.
Love the second one.
But I think I don't like when too many sequels come out, but as long as you're still keeping it, keeping it fresh. I did that was the thing with the third one. It was like they didn't try to keep them young. They're like, yeah, we old now. Like we ain't flawless no more. We ain't bulletproof. And they put that all in the forefront. Martin getting on him about dyeing his goatee and all that stuff. Like all that, that's real. Like and I love that. So hey, Will probably needs it definitely more than Martin. Martin don't need to do shit, but Will.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm like, We can let it go. We can let Bad Boys die. But I mean, for the culture, for the 90s, I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna support it always. But you people, so you gave an A to F
B
scale.
minus.
Mine is a 1 to 10, and I'm gonna give it like a 7.5. So it would be a C for me. Just because of how predictable it was, but I still appreciate it. I knew how it was gonna be. I knew they were gonna end up together. I knew it was us versus them, like by the title. But I still appreciated like I don't want to say gentrification, but the new age of it, like how they had a podcast and how they focused on the culture. Like I appreciated that aspect of it. So it was predictable, but still new and fresh.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies talking gentrification. The other movie that sticks out as soon as they said the word was Candyman. The latest Candyman. And I thought they were also a little too heavy-handed with it. I was like, okay, we get it. I get it. I'm from Chicago. I know what happened to Caprini Green. I know. But I guess I'm just more of a fan of subtlety, especially with jokes. Like you either get the joke or you did.
Right.
But I didn't think there were jokes in here that were so heavy-handed that it was like, okay, that's not really funny. It wasn't that. No. It's just, but also there was again, too heavy on the gentrification topic. And like I said, that whole Laura, when Amira and Ezra met, her spitting all that stuff out in like one sense, like, no, you wouldn't talk like that. Everything else was fine. You were a stranger getting in my car, but all that other stuff.
It wouldn't have even went on that long in reality.
That long. No. But funny. Some of the stuff is topical. And some of the stuff does need to be talked about, but again, I like that it was the blacks and the Jews, even though you don't really, some people just look Caucasian, but they're actually Jewish. You can't really tell. So you see, unless you see their last name, you it's hard to tell. Right. But we're both minorities. Both were treated badly, and both have terrible histories, Holocaust, slavery, So it's a great conversation to have, and it's. I don't want history to get erased. They're trying to erase our history slowly but surely, and we still have yet to get our just due for years and years of slavery.
I still want my acres and a meal for sure.
Yeah, so it's terrible, but at the end of the day, it happened, and I just wish that America would just come out and say, hey, we fucked up. All right, we sorry, instead of just saying, yeah, and making excuses. That whole thing.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna? Yeah.
But that's what I love about Black people. We can laugh at our trauma. Like, this is so bad, but I mean, we're gonna get through it.
You have to laugh so you don't cry. Definitely. Real quick, let the people know where they can find you and shout out the channel.
You can find me Instagram MoNo's_best. My podcast with my co-host Neen, that is the Just Cuz Pod on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as Instagram at the Just Cuz Pod. And I appreciate you again for giving me a moment on your platform.
Anytime. Glad to have you back. And I want to come on your show as well, because I got some stuff to get off the.
I want you like all the way live on my show. Can you? Yeah. Okay. I have plans, but I'm gonna wait till my plans are solidified before I tell you what they are. But but still, you need to come to Atlanta.
I do. Sure. I need to. I need a break.
I got the space. It's getting hot outside. It was hot as hell today. It was like 77. So
shit. 35, yeah. 30. freezing rain today up here.
It was hot, and it was just like 30 last week. So yeah, it's time to come on out. The bugs are outside now, so
Damn.
I had the sunroof open and there was bugs in
Wow.
February. It's different here.
Yeah, that's different for sure.
It's so different here. I called out of work today. I went to the brunch spot. I had some drinks. Like, I really enjoyed the first day of spring for us. So it's time.
Yeah, I need to get down there. I need to change the scenery for a little bit for a couple of days.
Now, I know you might be ready to move once you come out here. Don't nobody ever want to go back home.
I've been to a couple places where I didn't want to go back. You know, even before I had kids, I went to Cali. I was like, I don't want to go back to Chicago.
You like Cali like that? I mean, honestly, I love Chicago to death, but a lot of other places are better than Chicago. Like, Chicago's great, but yeah, it's time to see something else. Like, we don't get to, like, there's no like scenery in Chicago, so it's nice.
I don't know.
You're used to it though. Like, your scenery is buildings. Like, there's not a whole lot of landscape.
But I don't know. I guess I enjoy the view when you go over by like the aquarium. You can see the whole city with the lake included.
Yeah.
And there's parts of the north side where you can go and you can see different angles of the city. I mean, it's beautiful, but
it's all city views though. It's all like a bird's eye city view. Like, that city, like, it's great, but it's so nice to see. Even like going to Denver, like seeing mountains, like you can still be in the cold and see land. Like, land is a lot different than just city views. And like in Georgia, you get a good mix of both. You get the city, but you also get the countryside of it. You get the wineries, you get the hills and the mountains. So
yeah,
we got everything but the beach. We ain't got no water.
I'm not a beach person, so that's okay.
Oh, so you gonna fit right in. Like, if we had a beach, we would be perfect, but we don't have a beach. But if you don't need a beach, then we're good for you.
I don't need a beach. I'm good.
Well, let me come back whenever you have a chance.
We're gonna do more. Matter of fact, we was talking about Bad Boys. I might be doing a retrospective where we do like to review the first three. I don't know when the fourth one's coming out, but I do want to go back and revisit I want to revisit that first one. That first one is a classic. So
do you have BET Plus?
I don't.
Okay, you need to get the trial for BET Plus. It's free for 7 days, and you need to watch The Reading. That's the one with Monique. And you need to watch Hello. That's with Eva Marcel.
Okay.
And we need to go back and review those. They're both like thrillers, and they have a Black cast, but it's not necessarily a Black film. It's predominantly Black cast, because I don't know, did you hear when Nia Long was like, you shouldn't refer to Black movies as Black movies?
Mm-mm.
So she made that comment like, I don't want you to refer to us as Black movies, but like a lot of movies you think about, and they're sometimes like Black movies, not only because they have a predominantly Black cast, but because they like are focused on the Black culture and they're more relatable to Black people. Well, these movies, even though they have a predominantly Black cast, it's not about the culture at all. It's just a predominantly Black cast, and now it's a thriller. So I love that Black people are diverse like that. Yes, we can have Black movies, but yes, we can also just be leading actors as Black people.
That's always been a thing. You know, we got our movies that is us. You know, the Boomerangs, the Woos, and all Life, all that kind of stuff. But then you got movies that Idris Elba has done. He did Idris Elba and Taraji P. Henson did a thriller, and that wasn't about us. It was just a thriller. Thriller. Kevin Hart and what's the dude? Michael with the green eyes, light skinned dude with green eyes, whatever.
Michael Ealy. What is it?
Michael Ealy. Yeah. They did that comedy. Was it Last Night? Something about Last Night. It's from years ago, but it was just that could be anybody. That scenario it was a rom-com. That could have been anybody. So yeah, you got both, and there's movies that are just predominantly white and about their culture. You know, you go back and watch.
And that's okay.
Well, yeah, go back and watch Goodfellas. Most people love Goodfellas, but Ain't no niggas in there. You know
Right.
what I
Do
mean?
we relate? No,
No.
but it's a good movie.
Right. So.
But yeah, the reading. Hello.
Okay.
BT Plus.
I will look into it.
That can be our next review. Okay, I gotta get some water. My mouth is dry. I'm sobering up, but I'm not quite sober.
All right. Well, everybody, make sure you hit us up on all social medias. Third Generation Wrestling Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch is Third Generation Wrestling Pod, and Twitter podcast _ third. Check us out if you haven't. I know it's past Super Bowl, but go back and watch the live stream anyway. I had Mo on here, I had Rob on here. We was making drinks and okay, good conversation, and yeah. So we'll be definitely doing more reviews.
Yes.
We'll be back. And thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. And
thank you. Good night.
Everybody take care.